So two of the Pinkbike tech editors a little while back said a couple of things that, like, one, it was like kind of surprising and disappointing that something like this could go over their heads so badly. And two, was absolutely infuriating to me, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since. I lost sleep last night, so here we are. We're putting a pause on regular video production because I think this is pretty important to talk about. All right, there have been a number of sort of off-color comments towards the rest of the mountain bike creator community out there, mostly from one specific tech editor, but what we're really talking about today are some very specific things that I can specifically point to. And that was a part of the Pinkbike podcast, episode 198, our pedantic pet peeves. I'll link it below in the description. And there are kind of like two specific moments that I'm referencing here, and I'll play them for you right now.
Because I think a lot of time with social media, and even to when I was working essentially as an influencer back in the day, like, if I could have been a mountain bike racer, that's what I would have done. But how did that feel like, thinking like, we're actually doing the actual thing, the racing, and if a lot of those influencers, if they could do this, they would be doing this, but they can't. But they're doing TikTok dances and making like POV guides or whatever about like the best trail in BC. Watch me walk it.
Like, we have to do something. There's just like gigabytes and gigabytes of just like people bumbling down easy trails, which is great. Like, you can remember it's fine to document your adventures and things on GoPro, like, go for it. But I do feel like maybe uploading it to YouTube is too much, maybe.
All right, so let's cover the first thing. It's the easiest one. We can breeze past this and get to the really maddening stuff. The first one is just kind of a head scratcher. So Henry Quinney says and seems to believe that mountain bike content creators out there, they all just want to be pro racers so badly, but they can't do it. And because they can't do it, they're going and doing TikTok dances. I mean, yeah, what he said is ridiculous and demeaning. It really just shows that he's not in touch with the reality of mountain bike content creation at the moment. I'm part of a really amazing Slack group where there's a ton of us mountain bike content creators on there, people that focus on Instagram or TikTok, and a ton of YouTubers. And I don't know if any single one of them, maybe one of them wanted to be a racer, and they were a racer, and then they found that making content was more fun, and they got way more out of it in general. But everybody else that I know, hundreds of people who are content creators out there, none of them wants to be racers. I'd be willing to bet that the vast majority of mountain bikers don't really care about racing. So I think it comes from a bit of an old school mindset. And I get it. I follow racing like crazy. I don't want to be a racer, but I follow it and I enjoy watching it. Maybe a little less so this past year, but that's a whole nother video. But yeah, to say that making mountain bike content is like a step down from something else, I think it's pretty out to lunch and out of touch. But that's okay. That was his hot take. I think it's wrong, going from the experience of the people that I know. But let's get to the meat of the matter here. They both talked about people, say, not as skilled as they are, making content and putting it out there for other people to see, whether that's on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or wherever. And between Henry's words and especially his tone, he was just putting people down that are out there putting out that content. And Kaz goes even further and says, well, if you're not a very good rider and you're just bumbling down an easy trail, that's fine for you, but don't upload it to the internet. So I'm going to touch on the absolutely infuriating part of that in a second, but let's go over the utility of people uploading mountain bike content to YouTube, because that's a big one. So when I'm going to go and ride somewhere, I did this before the channel and I especially do it now. I do a lot of trail recon work. I go and look online on Trail Forks, shout out Pinkbike, and I go and I look through every trail preview video that I can get my hands on. And there's all different types of riders and all different skill levels. But in their world, what they're saying should happen is that all of the people that aren't good enough in their mind, they shouldn't upload. They shouldn't put that stuff online because it's just annoying to them. So let's say if their wish came true. Let's say if the only person that ever uploaded any trail footage was Remy Metallier. Great guy. We've had so many great conversations over the years. I consider him a friend. So there's no dig on Remy here whatsoever. He is such a high level rider. So let's say every trail preview video you would ever look up is from Remy. That would be a big problem because the way Remy rides a trail is very unique. It's extremely high level and is not, I would say, relatable to most people. He's breezing over parts that would be really, really difficult. And I'm not just talking about crazy features. I'm talking about holding speeds through certain things, or just sort of floating over stuff that anybody going any slower, Remy looks like that, everyone else would be like this going through the same section. And so I think you know what I'm getting at here is that if you just have one style of very high level rider showing you all the trails, you're going to show up on that trail and it's going to be a very different experience for you. I don't care who you are other than Remy Metallier. I usually only have like a day and a half, maybe 2 days to be running around in any certain trail center. So I want to know exactly what trails I want to ride. And that goes whether we're filming a video. I want to see what kind of features are on there. Can I hit this one? Can I not hit that one? Will it show up nicely as a thumbnail? Stuff like that. Or when we're going to places and we're not filming and I've got the boys with me. I mean, they're hauling on bikes nowadays, but it wasn't that long ago that I had to be really careful with the trails that I chose to have just that right amount of fun factor, but not going over the line for their skill level. And the only way that I've been able to do that is by being able to view trail preview videos put out by people of all different skill levels. There's so much valuable data other than just the entertainment factor. I love it. And huge shout out to Matt Beer, by the way, who is also part of that podcast. And he instantly jumped in and said, it's actually a really great thing that people upload that stuff for trail recon work. Matt gets it. And after Matt defended other creators, Henry kind of poked him a little bit more to try and get him to be negative about these people. And Matt wouldn't do it. He just closed his mouth and they moved on. So 2 thumbs up to Matt Beer. Now here's the part that makes me equal parts disappointed and angry. It doubles up with what Henry said, but it really hit home when Mike, or Kaz, I'll call him Kaz, said that he's worried about the internet filling up with all the crappy GoPro footage of people filming themselves bumbling down trails. It's fine to document your ride, but uploading them to YouTube is a bit much. This is one of the most unprofessional things I've ever heard, and I'll tell you why. So way up on their giant media conglomerate-owned horse, they say that if you're not good enough of a rider, and you're not riding good enough trails, just don't upload your stuff. The content that they create under the Pinkbike umbrella, of course they can put their stuff out, but not other people. And so I don't think they're directly talking to me and the crew here at Loam Ranger. Who they're talking to is me from 2014 when I started uploading clips here and there to YouTube, or me in 2016 when we started planning out the Loam Ranger channel, or me in 2017 when we first started putting out videos. They are talking directly to me and anybody like me in those situations and saying, don't upload your stuff because it's not good enough. Just let us upload our stuff, thanks. And saying those words sucks. But the part that really gets me is the fact that they have an audience. They have a big platform that they're standing on, and saying that to so many people, thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And when you have that responsibility of a platform like they do and like we do, you cannot, why would you ever punch down? Why would you ever say something specifically to put other people down and to make it so that other mountain bike content creators out there feel bad about themselves, make them think that they shouldn't upload things when anybody can do whatever the hell they want? But also when people with a platform talk like that, it opens the floodgates to a bunch of other people that don't really get it and have all these negative thoughts that they're just waiting to share about, a crappy trail video or somebody that didn't hit the big giant jump when they should have. It's just a bad move all around. Yeah, it blows my mind. It's I can tell you right now with confidence that if we move 5, 10, 15 years into the future, all of the very best mountain bike storytellers and filmmakers and photographers out there, they're the ones right now who are uploading stuff of them bumbling down easy trails. They're trying to cut their teeth. They're figuring things out right now. Putting yourself out there online is a big deal. It's it takes courage to do that. So to try and stop somebody right at the starting gate, it's madness. These guys have clearly shown that they're very, very intelligent. They're funny. They're good to watch. They put out great content. I could curl up in a nice little ball by the fire and listen to Henry Quinney talk about derailleurs and HD6s all day long. I just think that they really missed the mark in this interview. If Kaz and Henry, if you're watching this, I would love to just really drive home the point that you like mountain biking, I like mountain biking, all the other mountain bike creators out there love mountain biking, and we all want to show that to people and share that with people in different ways. But the content that you guys produce and you hit publish on is precisely equally as valuable as the content that anybody else puts out, with as far as the value prospect. You don't know what people are going to find valuable and not valuable. But yeah, for you people who love mountain biking and you're dipping your toes into content creation, keep going. What you're doing is fantastic. It is valued. I cannot wait to see where you're going to ride next, and I'm really stoked to be part of this community myself. Thanks for listening to me rant for a little while, everybody. Cheers.